Hey guys, so I got the engine together. Kind of missed a lot of the build there, but I was able to start working on like the intake and stuff like that. I was going to show you some of the differences here between the different intakes available for the CRVs and versus what I'm actually putting into the car. Um, I decided, well, I'll show you here. Hey YouTube friends. So I forgot to film a couple things, but I'm going to right now. Um, almost forgot to film the intake side that I'm porting on this head. Figured I ought to show that. In the meantime, uh, doing all this port work, I ended up burning up. Oh, swap this. Ended up burning up my old compressor. Pretty much just couldn't handle anything anymore. Too much abuse from all the port work. So I ended up buying a new compressor and installing that. Came out pretty good. A little 60-gallon. Should do more than enough for my shop and everything I'm going to be doing. Paint work, the whole deal. So figured I might as well show you the head though. So I started porting some of these intakes. Didn't do all of it yet, obviously. Still a lot of casting flash in there. But this is pretty much how they start. Lots of casting flash. I already cleaned a tiny bit off. Realized I didn't film any of it, so probably figured I should. So that's how they start. Pretty gnarly. But as far as a factory intake goes, they're pretty good to begin with. So I'll keep going and show you a little later how it comes out. Okay, I decided to show you, or decided to put in a B16 intake, which is this one here. Made a few modifications to it. Normally right in here, there's a water outlet and a hole for EGR return, which you kind of, I'm not using, but it's good for cold starts, stuff like that. But I'm not worried about that since this is kind of a toy car that I'm building. So kind of my street car for the Civic. But that's a B16 manifold. You can see here is a CRV, domestic CRV intake manifold. It's got this stupid hole on top for a silencer box or whatever the hell that thing is. I don't know for sure. Didn't even pay much attention when I pulled it off. But you can see the intake runners. They kind of start real small and go up to the intake size. So they cut down quite a bit of airflow. Plus they're kind of a goofy shape overall. They kind of kick way down and then up and then down again. So it kind of really disturbs the air going into the engine. Portholes are normal size, but with the cut down, it really cuts the airflow. Just kind of a poor design overall. It's good for torque on a CRV, I guess, but compared to a B16, which is way straighter, way smoother, pretty much the same size the whole way through, just doesn't even compare for performance. Yeah, there's aftermarket ones, but the B16 is so good from the factory, I don't see why I'm not going to use it for a street car that I'm building. This isn't a full-blown race car, so just turn up the boost just a little bit more and make the same power as I would pretty much with an aftermarket one. Just have to put a little more stress on the turbo, but it's a street car, so I'm not going for all out power anyway. And then this is, I believe, like a J-spec engine that I had gotten before. This is what comes on that one. And you can see the crazy runners they run on this. Super long, super weird design. Almost goes backwards and then like down, forward. Super long runners. Great for torque, I guess, but horrible for performance. Just terrible for performance wise. So that's why these things were never really made to make a lot of horsepower. They were made to pull a big CRV around, so a lot more weight than a Civic or anything. But probably I'm thinking I might use the throttle body off of this since it's in pretty good shape. It's more like a GSR style throttle body. I don't know yet. I still have the other one, but I'll have to clean it all up and make it work a lot better. I don't know. We'll see. I have to decide. They both will fit, so that's normally on there like that. But it bolts right up to the B16 manifold. And I got this sucker. I'll show you here on the engine. Got the engine together. Looks pretty decent. If I can get this on here one-handed. There we go. Now, she bolts right up. I ported the head, port matched with the gasket and everything. Got a thermal gasket in there. It's all port matched to flow real good, but it fits real nice. Modified it so that I plugged off the EGR hole and I put in a fitting for the coolant. Plenty of room to get around there. I welded this whole new tab up because that hole wasn't even existing on the B16 manifold. So I made one, machined it down, machined by hand I should say. I don't have a lathe or anything, or a milling machine I mean. But other than that, everything works great. I actually added that hole where that stud is right there. I cut that whole section out there, so now I can get a nut on there from the top. Easy to service. This hole isn't even used up top where the original thing is. There's a plug there that was there, but it's machined out. If I can focus. I used the unibit and hogged it out, so now it fits nicely. So I got myself a B16 intake on a B20 head. I think this thing will make a nice nice street performer, to be honest. So I guess we'll see. It's coming up soon. Making a lot of progress.